Hi, my name is Mia and this is My Virtual Vanity, a place where we both love makeup and we're quite critical of it. Today we are going to be ranking all of my 2022 makeup purchases, which unfortunately have been quite numerous because my brain has been seeking dopamine in the form of impulsive purchases. I'm going to start a low buy in 2023, but until then, let's see what I bought this year. Big thank you to Ana Luisa Jewelry for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate them. If you've been on my channel for a while, if not, hi, welcome, glad to have you here. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know that I've collaborated with them repeatedly, and that's because I stand by what they're about. They make really beautiful, affordable jewelry. I like the design and daintiness of their pieces. Like for me, their jewelry that I wear a lot of at work, their jewelry that I like to stack, especially since I got my ears pierced, is jewelry that kind of goes with everything. It's feminine without being too in your face. I really like their stuff. They're really sustainable. They make it their mission to, you know, lower their impact on the environment. If you're interested in their jewelry, I have a code for 20% off, and that is MiaRBeauty20. It's going to be typed up here as well for your convenience. Click the link down below and it will lead you to all of their latest sales and releases. Use the code and, you know, treat yourself or your loved ones to something pretty and shiny that, you know, isn't makeup, that might last even longer than makeup. Without that said, and with me waxing lyrical and being a simp for Ana Luisa, let's go forward and rank, with the help of good old tier maker here, what I purchased this year. Let me scooch to quote Angelica Nyquist, and let's get started. I have the following categories, and I'm gonna keep looking at my phone because that's where I have the image. The categories I have are hot garbage with an accent, because these are truly awful, and you can tell that I've been impulse shopping this year because previous years I didn't have a hot garbage section. I just had it was fine but it didn't work for me section at the worst. But because I've been impulse purchasing, you can tell that I made some unfortunate choices. The next section is just okay. It's nice, it's fine, but it's not evoking any strong feelings. I'm not gonna write any poetry about it. It just works. Lovely, 3 exclamation marks. This is makeup that I love, but isn't necessarily my top tier favorite that I purchased this year, but I would 100% heartily recommend. Then God tier, the favorites of the favorites, the best makeup that I tried this year, the stuff that 100% was worth my money and I keep using over and over again. Extra bonus category is not decided yet. Because I've purchased these recently and I didn't have time to completely test them out to the fullest that I like to test things out before I say, oh, this is lovely or this isn't, you know, isn't what it is. That being explained, let's start with the no opinion yet category because that has the least items, and I feel it's a category that's a sort of in purgatory. It's not in heaven nor hell. It's not talking to Virgil, it's not talking to Satan. It's just kind of there. It's in limbo. The 2 Alva palettes from Oden's Eyes, the Alva, you know, the first, and Alva the second, you know, the whole Alva dynasty. I got these a week ago as of the filming of this video, and I've used them a couple of times. I think they're lovely so far. I really like them. I do have some opinions regarding the Alva 2, some of the formulas there, but overall I would say that they're lovely, but I don't want to say yet, oh, they're my favorites or they're just okay. Another one would be the Urban Decay setting spray, the all-nighter. I purchased the mini of this. I'm kind of working on panning a setting spray that I already have before moving on to this one, so I don't have any opinions on this. Now, let's start with the hot garbage. I am so mad that I wasted my money on these. Granted, most of them were fairly affordable, cheap. Like, what even is cheap and affordable anymore? It's such a relative term. You get what I mean. Affordable for me, cheap for me. The first one would be the Dermacol eyeshadow base, which doesn't do anything. It's got like a silicone-y texture, right? And it should technically intensify the colors, prolong the wear of eyeshadow. I purchased this because my favorite, the Milani eye primer, had a 20% price hike increase at local retailers, and I wasn't about that life. I told myself I'm not gonna negotiate with terrorists. I'm gonna try something cheaper. This is what I get for straying. This doesn't really do much of anything. I've got fairly normal to dry skin. I normally don't really have issues with longevity or creasing. This doesn't make eyeshadow last longer at all. In fact, I think it makes it look worse faster, maybe because of that silicone-y base. Especially shimmer shadow, it kind of makes it bundle up in the crease of my eye. Another thing that I disliked was parts of the new Rimmel Kind and Free collection. The Rimmel setting powder in translucent did absolutely nothing. I mean, it wasn't perceptible in the sense that I couldn't see what it was doing. It wasn't blurring, it wasn't helping with oils that went throughout the day, because I tested that out in summer. It wasn't mattifying. It wasn't helping makeup last longer. I don't know what it was supposed to do aside from exist and take up space in my drawers. From the same line is the concealer that I didn't like at all. And that might be personal preference because the formula itself is fine. It's just that it's got the most subtlest, sheerest of coverages to the point where you can tell that I tried to put concealer on and then it makes me look even more tired. Because it doesn't even make me look just tired, it makes me look like a try-hard. Like, obviously, oh, she didn't get a good night's sleep, she's got like a vampiric look in her eyes, she tried to put concealer on and try to pass herself as mortal. It made me obviously look worse than I did before. I will admit that I have a preference for more full coverage creamy concealers. This was creamy, but it was transparent. So I would not recommend. If your preference is just, you know, a little bit of a veil of color, then maybe. But I can't in my hearts of hearts recommend it. Another miss was the Catrice eyebrow gel. The one that's in a clear tube didn't do anything. It was slightly thicker water. The applicator was weird. I didn't enjoy the shape of the applicator. And my brows aren't particularly unruly. They kind of do what I tell them to do, but this one, it just didn't do anything. Last but not least, the Essence Bye Bye Panda Eyes or something like that. Listen, I keep trying Essence mascaras because everybody loves them and I feel gaslighted into loving them even though I hate every single Essence mascara that I've ever tried. They kind of make my eyes itch. They never do what they're supposed to be doing on my straight, stubborn lashes. They're black, but that's kind of about it. I've tried the Essence one that everybody likes. I've tried the volumizing ones. I've tried this one. I never like any of them. I don't know why I keep trying, but every time I see a Reddit thread or a comment on YouTube saying, oh, Essence mascaras, they're the bee's knees, they're the goat, they're the OG, they're Essence mascaras, you know, saved my child from a building on fire, gave $1 billion to charity, aligned my chakras and cured my depression, and it's always a disappointing experience for me. It is what it is. Moving on from this, you know, me being a hater, which I'm really good at and I do enjoy being a hater. Like, I do feel that it's healthy to be a hater sometimes and it's fun. Like, being a hater, but like a professional hater, you don't hate for the sake of hating, right? You hate what's worth hating. It's just so very fun. Next category, just okay. The Essence blushes that everybody loves. The formula is beautiful. It lasts long. Like, I'm gonna say that they are not just good for the price, they're good, period, even compared to some of my more expensive formulas. It's just that I didn't fall in love with them. I don't know why. I never pulled for them. I never was excited to wear them. They're fine, but they don't spark joy, and I think that's because as I've experienced more and more of what the makeup world has to offer, I've started to pay attention to the feel of the item in my hand, the promise that it gives me, the, you know, the lifestyle marketing behind it. If I were to start my makeup kit from scratch again and I were on a budget, I would 100% go for Essence blushes. But as it is, I've got blushes that are in, you know, higher quality packaging. They have better marketing. They are fancier. And I'm not going to lie and say I'm not a bougie bitch enjoying my fancy stuff, and those were kind of forgotten. But they're good. They're a perfectly fine formula. It's, you know what, Essence blush, it's me, literally, not you. I'm a material girl, what can I say? Another one from Essence would be the Catching Clouds highlighter, which is a really pretty sheer pink glittery highlighter. It is indeed quite glittery. I know I'm being very eloquent right now. It's really pretty, but again, it's just something that I'm not that excited to wear. Like, I'm excited to wear my Kaleidos pink glittery highlight. The Essence Hello Good Stuff primer, it's fine. It's like a hydrating primer. It's just very middle of the road for me. Some other stuff that was just okay are some Forever Lash cream singles. Forever Lash is a Romanian makeup brand and a Romanian makeup website, and they make these really interesting cream to powder eyeshadow formulas. I really enjoyed what I got from them, but because it's so creamy and they're so intense special shades, I don't find myself using them that often, except when it's like special occasions or for Instagram looks or when I want to film. Also, they don't last that long, specifically because they're so creamy and emollient, but they do make great eyeshadow bases. The H&M Tiny Spark Gloss is a pretty pink gloss with golden sparkles. That's basically it. It's okay. The Kiko Milano, the Festival Glow blushes, I think that's what they're called, the ones in the blue packaging. They are luminous, almost shimmery blushes. If you wear one of those, I would argue that if you're a more subtle makeup girly, you might not need a highlight. They're very beautiful, the colors are very pretty, very flattering, but again, they are fine. They're pretty, but they don't evoke any strong feelings. And same with the highlighters from the same collection. I've got 2 shades of blush, 2 shades of highlighter. I don't regret I purchased them. They're really beautiful, but they're just okay. Up next, the Kylie Cosmetics blush, and I forgot what shade I have in this, but it's the one that's like a very obvious baby pink. It's a beautiful color, a beautiful blush, but I don't think it's any more special than the Essence ones, for example, and it's much more expensive. I think that the price there is justified by the branding, not by the quality of the product. It is quite a unique shade in my collection, like that beautiful shade of soft, warm-ish baby pink, and I enjoy it for that, but it's nothing out of the ordinary otherwise. The Laka blush and the Laka palette in Position, these are Asian, I think Korean, if I recall correctly. Very beautiful, especially the blush. It's a pretty cool pink. It's just that I always have to kind of use it with something else because I feel that on its own, I don't know, it just doesn't, it doesn't pop enough for me. If you are someone that's pale, like pale, my skin tone, or even lighter, maybe even cooler, I think that you would love this blush. Position palette is a very, you know, K-beauty, Asian beauty palette. Very subtle, beautiful for everyday looks. It's just that even for everyday, even for work, I don't go for subtle. I think I liked having the option, but now I kind of have to remind myself to use it. Every time I use it, it's lovely, I enjoy it. It's not particularly my set makeup style. I bought both of these because the packaging looked like a river pebble in the promo pictures, and it's not as reflective in real life, which kind of makes me sad. I feel catfished. The Makeup Revolution Sands of Time duo, beautiful, gorgeous. If you're a drugstore baddie, go get it. I like the texture in the pans, that's why I bought it. I saw it in an Instagram flat lay and I really liked the texture that was in the pan. The Max Factor mascara is beautiful. It's fine. It lengthens a little, it volumizes a little, it curls a little, but for me it hits right in the middle of the road. Melchior Brow Mascara is what I'm wearing in my brows today. It's lovely, it does the job. It's just that I feel that it's not worth the price unless you get it when they've got like their stupidly crazy sales. But it's okay, I enjoy it. The Wet n Wild Call Me Sunshine palette was an impulse purchase. The formula is okay, it's lovely, it's fine. I gave it to a friend. I don't wear those tones. They don't really work that well on me, those types of honey mellow yellows. I don't know what I was thinking. I never wore it. I think I wore it maybe once or twice for a look, but that's about it. It had to go. Okay, let's start with the lovely category, and we're getting into la creme de la creme. We're going to start with the Etude House Autumn Closet palette, which again is one of those K-beauty formulas. Is Etude Korean? I think it's Japanese. Wait. Etude House is a South Korean cosmetics brand. There we go. I'm smarter now than I was before. The Etude House Autumn Closet is a moody, cool-toned, very autumnal palette. And it's again one of those more wearable day-to-day type of palettes. I really like this because the shimmers are very beautiful and multi-dimensional. They read neutral, but if you take a closer look, they've got multi-dimensional, multicolored sparkles running through them, and they're quite complex. And the mattes in the palette just blend themselves. And whenever I want a neutral eye look lately, I go for that one because it makes me feel magical even if I'm just wearing a neutral, work-appropriate look. More Asian beauty, the Clio Highlighter Duo. I purchased because someone on YouTube raved about it. Maybe Teresa is that, I don't recall. Beautiful formula. You've got one side that is shiny, satiny, quite glowy, but a more luminous glow. And then you've got a side that's more glittery, more impactful, more fairy-like. I enjoy the duality of it. It kind of reminds me of the duality in the Fenty Beauty Lightning Dust Fire Crystal, where you've got one that is more mirror-like, more strong, and then another one that's more subtle. The e.l.f. Halo Glow Powder is a really lovely powder. I think I bought this because of Daisy Cash, maybe? It's such a beautiful setting and finishing powder. It's not that kind of powder that goes glittery because it calls itself luminous. It's a veil of perfection on your face, and I like to wear it on the entire face as well as on the under eye. It works great for that. For now, it's performed great in cold weather. I don't know how it's gonna act in the summer. So there's that. But I do love it, and it's become one of my favorite loose powders to use. Espresso. I've tried the Italian indie brand Espresso this year, and I will do a video once I purchase one or more, 2 things from them. What I bought, I think, is absolutely lovely. So the APC concealer, I got this in the lightest shade, which I feel is 05. Beautiful medium coverage concealer. This is a really lovely formula. It works well both with a brush, fingers, and a beauty blender. I also enjoy that you can modulate the coverage of this, so it has a sort of medium coverage, but if you wait for it to set a bit and then add a little bit more, then you can make it go like a little bit higher, cover a little bit more. I also loved using this as a foundation. I went on a trip and I realized that I only packed concealer, no foundation, and I used this all over the face, and it looked lovely. I want a foundation formula like that. I actually want to try their skin tint and their hydrating primer, so I'm hoping it's similar. I also got the Glassy blush, which is a pH color changing blush. I really like it. It's quite dewy. The more you apply, the more the color gets intense, the dewier it gets. Not sticky, but just maybe just a little bit. I like using it with my hair, with my hair up mostly. I can't wait until my hair grows again so I can put it like in a bun. I'm starting to kind of get bored of this in-between length. One thing that I need to mention is that you need just a little bit because it can get a lot very easily, and it's quite pigmented for being a pH changing blush. I don't know how to explain it. I also liked their lipstick. I got the shade Capriccio, which is really nice. It's a sort of muted, dusty, mauvey nude. A very beautiful shade. I love that it smells like coffee. It's lovely. I was thinking of getting a red, but then I realized that I have kind of like 7 reddish red lipsticks, and I really don't need any more. The Kiko Milano Perfecting Powder, the one that has a flower packaging and a flower imprint, very lovely. Very lovely. I feel that it kind of makes my makeup look more put together. I wouldn't necessarily say airbrushed, but it just does something. It's like a little bit of magic, a little bit of something that melts everything together and makes it look prettier, better blended. I know I dissed Rimmel Kind earlier, but I really do enjoy the the tinted moisturizer from that line. It's a lovely formula, light coverage, dewy to satin. It's not that dewy. It's really pretty. I also enjoyed the Wet n Wild tinted hydrator, but the shade Light, I feel that was the lightest available where I found it. That one was a hair too dark and maybe a hair too olive for me. So despite enjoying the formula, I've kind of had to mix the two, the Rimmel Kind of Free and the Wet n Wild, and I made a Franken concoction of foundation that really works great for me. I kind of had to shelve it for now because I'm starting to get lighter and lighter as winter approaches. I am reaching my final glowy in the dark form, so I'll have to wait until summer to wear that again. But I really loved those this summer. I really enjoyed the Milani Gilded Flora palette. It's such a beautiful, inspiring color story. The shimmers are gorgeous. The mattes perform really well. I find it a really inspiring color story for me. I bought it when I went to visit my best friend in the UK because I wanted like a makeup memory from there, and I'm really happy that I purchased this one. It's absolutely lovely. I got two things from Zessie, Picasso lipstick, which I am familiar with Zessie. No, actually I got more lipsticks. I got a Picasso lipstick and one from their Egyptian collection. I'm familiar with that formula. It's a lovely formula. It's long lasting, it's creamy, it doesn't dry out my lips. The colors are so gorgeous and so flattering. Honestly, if I wasn't drawing a lipstick at the moment, I would probably buy more. But as it is, I'm working on panning something, so that will have to wait. I also got the Tang Romance palette in the more neutral colorway because I wanted to get a lot of use out of it, pairing it with other palettes. It's a beautiful art object. It's complex. It's something that I keep on my vanity as a display. It looks like a jewelry box. It's so beautiful, and I can't wait to use it more and wear down the imprint because I love doing that with fancy makeup. I love wearing down the imprint. Last but not least, I got a Max Factor pencil because of TikTok. It's a white eyeliner pencil. It's lovely. I like using it in the inner corner of my eye as well as on the waterline, and it brightens everything up. Really good formula. I have issues with certain pencils because I've got quite sensitive eyes, and some formulas make my eyes itch. This doesn't do that. It's lovely. Okay, I know I've talked for so long, but we're there. We're at the top level. We are at the God tier makeup. We are going to start with two NARS concealers. Listen, I resisted buying from NARS for so long because it's so hyped, right? And I was like, it can't be worth the money. How much better can it be? I was a fool. A fool! Both the Radiant Luminous Concealer and the Soft Matte Concealer, wow, these are such elegant, beautiful formulas. They are so multitasking. They're so easy to work with. They cover everything. They cover all of my sins. Gorgeous. Like, I don't have words to describe how beautiful this formula is, and I'm mad. I'm mad because now I know. Now I know, and I'll have to repurchase these stupid expensive ass products. With some luck, they will last me a long time, so I won't have to purchase them that often, but still, why did I have to teach myself to be so bougie? Shouldn't be just minding my own goddamn business. A longtime favorite is the Catrice Hydrating Primer. Listen, this thing is lovely. Lovely. In all seasons, it moisturizes. It helps makeup blend better on it. It helps it last longer. I don't know why I ever strayed from it. The Catrice Fall 5 or something like that. I've got two of these tinted lip glosses from them. They're so good. They hydrate my lips so well. I use them a lot, especially right now in winter. I just pop one of those before I leave the house. Doesn't even matter if I have any makeup on. They really help. And they've got like a beautiful sheer tint to them, so they instantly make me look more put together. The Kiko Milano Powder Foundation, I think this was from their Dolce Vita line, but between lines, I don't think they really, mess with the formulas that much. This, we had a journey together because at the beginning, I tried to use the puff that came with it and it looked trash. absolutely awful. Then I used it as a setting powder, and then it looked a lot better because I was using it with a sparser brush. But then I experimented with my Zoeva foundation brush over a hydrating primer. That did it. It's such a beautiful, high coverage, flawless finish. I've got dry to mixed skin. I've started having some hormonal issues in the past few years, so my skin has started changing. I'm getting more of an oilier T-zone now. Before I was dry as a desert. This is just lovely. It's just lovely. I really enjoy using it when I want a higher coverage, or sometimes I would use a tinted moisturizer everywhere but my nose, and in my nose area where I do get quite red, I would wear that, and it was just flawless. I love it. If I ever manage to pan this, I am going to repurchase 100%. Two favorite lip liner formulas this year. The Melchior lip liners, they're so soft, especially the rosy nude and the regular nude. Beautiful shades, and they work really well with the pigmentation, the natural pigmentation of my lips. And then the Rimmel, the black pencils, the regular ones, not the mechanical ones. I have these in wine and bitter red, and they're just the most beautiful shades of red. I sometimes like to wear them on their own and then put like a little bit of lip balm, and it looks like my lips are naturally that color. They're flawless. They're so good. They kind of give like a blurred effect to the lips for how cheap they are. Oh my god. I've tried more expensive stuff that wasn't as good. I love them. Something that I also really loved was the Maybelline Sky High mascara, which you guessed it, I bought it because of TikTok. It's worth the hype. It really makes my lashes much longer. I don't think that it curls them that much, but if you've got natural curly lashes, I feel that that would be a game changer. I think it would look like you wear falsies. For me, it just made them really long, and it kind of gave me that sultry, tired cat look, simply because, you know, they were drooping quite a bit as they do naturally, so it just made my eyes look even more almond shaped. Love it, love it. Last but not least, and one of my top favorites, is the Romand, spelled as Rome ampersand and D, because people keep pronouncing it differently. Even Korean people, I don't know how to pronounce it. I can never make my mind up about it. It's a struggle. This is the Fog Garden, something like that. This is a cool toned all matte palette. I bought this because the year before I bought their Shade and Shadow Garden, which is an all matte neutral rosy toned palette. I really like using both palettes because the formula is impeccable and they're quite sheer but buildable. Because they're quite sheer but buildable, I get a lot of use out of them because I would just choose one depending on the mood. I'll put one shade or two in the crease, the outer V, line a bit with the darker colors, and then pop a duochrome or a single. And that was one of my fastest, oh, I have to get to work and I overslept type of looks. Really recommend both of these if you're in the market for a matte palette to use on its own or to use as a companion palette. Romand really makes such good ones. Highly recommend. I feel like I just did some cardio at the gym. My throat is parched. I'm gonna go make myself some tea. But yes, this has been my ranking of all of the plenty of makeup that I bought. If you were to make a ranking of what you bought this year, what would it be like? I really want to hear from you guys as well. Before you go, please don't forget to check Ana Luisa jewelry and use my code for 20% off. Use the link. As I said, it's been one of my favorites for years. For years, I've got so much stuff that I always, you know, stack on the year. Some of my favorite necklaces are from them. So if you want recommendations, boy, can I give you recommendations as well. You know, I'm not just a pretty face with a link. I know that website like the palm of my hand. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to have a wonderful morning, evening, second breakfast, third lunch, or whatever it is you're from. Bye.